Hi, my name is Lindy from Project Portfolio Office. So PPO has various business rules, of which validation rules is one of them, and that's what I'll be covering in this video. So in short, a validation rule prevents an update of a record based on certain conditions. So PPO out of the box has a couple of validation rules. I'm just going to focus on one and talk you through that. So if you are an administrator, you will have access to the administration menu. You just select business rules. Then on the business rules list page, I'm just filtering for my project entity, and the type of business rule is validation rule. So if I just apply that and I drill into this existing business rule, it basically says you cannot edit the status of a project except if you are a PPO administrator. So just to talk through these fields, we give it a short description. We select the entity that it relates to, the event that must trigger this rule. So it's basically an update that must trigger the rule. The action is prevent update from happening. You then add an error message that will be displayed, and here is where you set up your conditions and your exceptions. So in this case, if the value changes in the status field, stop the update, except if you are logged in as a PPO administrator. So just to demonstrate that, here I am logged in as a project manager. If I were to try and edit this project, by changing the status, PPO will prevent me from doing that. So if I just submit, you'll see the error message at the top of the page. So if I wanted to add a new validation rule, I would hover over administration, select business rule, and simply click on add. The example that I'm going to use is if you update your health indicators and you have a red health indicator, you are forced to provide a comment. So we first give our validation rule a title. So we generally say which entity it relates to and a short description. The entity that this relates to is health indicators. We want this rule to trigger when we update health indicators. The rule is set to active and the action must be prevent update. A message that will be displayed, and here we start building on our conditions. So our rule is that we must provide a comment when the health indicator rag is red. So under conditions, we are going to click on the drop down. It's not for field values change like in my previous example for the status. We are looking at new values. If I just open up this filter box, I can then capture my filter information, provide the condition filter with a filter name, and then here at the bottom we say when the rag equals red, that will be my trigger. So I just submit that rule. So that is the trigger in terms of the condition. But I'm going to add an exception that if the comment field is not empty, you can submit. So if I just click on my exception over here, I will also use the new values option and open up my filter to build my exception. So my exception is going to be comment is not empty. So the field that I select is comments. In the operator, I will say is empty. And when I submit this, I have to update my evaluation expression over here to say not 1, so not empty. If I submit that, I'm now in a position to submit this business rule and give it a test. So if I just submit here, I'm now going to navigate to the health indicator entity to test that. So hovering over projects, I select health indicators. So what I'm going to do is I am going to edit this health indicator here by turning it red, and I'm not going to complete this, and I'm expecting to see the error that I must complete that field. So here I'm just going to click on submit, and here you can see the error has popped up telling me that I must provide a comment in order to submit. The row is also highlighted where we see the error. So here I've popped in a comment, and if I submit, PPO will allow the submit because I have provided a reason as to why my RAG indicator is red. I hope you found this valuable. Thank you for watching.